And can you hear me tonight? Let me know down below if you can hear me, because then we got 50% of this little show going. The Polkadot show, the last stream of the year. And you see, for all of those who underestimated those beautiful, lovely dots. But let me tell you one thing, you still got time to get yourself a dot in the right pocket, in the left pocket, and in the back pocket. Oh, Jesus, it's good to be back. I just need to know if you can hear me. Perfect, thank you so much, Bull Bear. You must be a new member to the team. I welcome you. I will attend to you in just a second. So, wow. Every time I say that I, been away for a while, it is literally like doing a new stream. It's like the first time, a little bit nervous here. And, it's almost like I come home, and then I look at my studio, and I'm like, ooh, I get scared. Ooh. So you always have to bear with me. I actually saw it's about a month ago since you and we had the last time to be live together, face to face. Very sorry for that. But that's just how that is. In the end, I am going to chit-chat a little bit about, myself and private life. But I do know that, when we start these streams, some of you just want to hear which dots you need to buy. So in the end, there will be a little bit of private chit-chat. What are we going to do here today? Well, it's going to be a summary, obviously, of those beautiful dots. Obviously, since it's been so long since I've been live, I am, of course, going to also talk about a little here and a little there. It's not going to be a long stream because, more than 40 minutes, then, the brain is burning, and I then have to go and attend to the Cotletas. Today's Cotleta night. Anyway, guys, I am so happy to be here, and I'm so happy that we're going to end this year on a good note, and I can't wait for 2024, because that's when I believe that the real fun is going to start. Just before we go into the polka dots, did you guys look at NetSwap? I mean, this is up 72% today. I think 1,000% over the past 7 days. Anyway, we got to have also a look at that, because we told you when to buy. Anyway, on a beautiful polka dot night like today, I think we should start off with a polka poem. And I'm not sure where this polka poem came from. It might have been Betty, or it might have just come from, the founder, Gavin Wood himself, because he just actually recently, 2 days ago, we got his year roundup, and there's some beautiful things there that we should go through. But let's just go through this little poem together. In a world where digital snowflakes fall, Polkadot dApps stand tall. Underneath the blockchain sky so clear, they bring innovation, joy, and holiday cheer. With each transaction like a carol song, they weave a web where dreams are sprung. In this festive season, through the frost and the cold, Polkadot dApps shine bright, bold, and untold. Well, what can I say? I mean, my poems are a little bit different, because I think you know what time it is. It's time to let the chaos begin, because it's time to concentrate on Polkadot and Kusama. But just remember, my chaos has been nothing but profitable. The future of finance is being built right in front of our eyes, and it's being built on the blockchain. And from my point of view, it's being built mainly on Ethereum and on Polkadot. Let's get this little show going. I want to welcome you to Crypto Never Sleeps, the last stream of the year. In case you're new to this channel, you want to stay on top of the crypto world, well, do me a favor, hit like, smash, and subscribe, and all them goodies, so that you can be notified every time we upload new videos, so that you can, and this is important to me, protect your wealth, preserve your wealth, and ultimately increase your wealth. My name is Nico Arachi, and I am number one.
Be strong.
And I know it's not really time to chit chat. I just want to give all my love. I'm so happy to see Shahida meet my soul brother who's been here since day one, just like Cherry and I. I can see Thomas is here. Markus Zwingenberger. Good to see you. I love you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Markus. Thank you. Happy to. Good to hear your voice. And you do. No, thank you. I mean, your compliments, this is why I do it. And even the ones who say, I'm slowboat and, I'm the worst, it's also okay. Constructive criticism is very good. I just love the fact that you responded, that you're here. Of course, I'm happy if I can help. You know that. So we got Jose Marcus. Anyone know how to buy top Polkadot coins in the US? I guess, I personally, this is legal advice. I'm not really sure. But get yourself an, what's it called? A router. Or where you can, somebody will help in the chat, I'm sure. I am sure. And, I will get into the questions later, also to you, Bull Bear. I am so happy to see CryptoStan is here and James McLaughlin is good. You are just the best. Happy to see all Derek Doyle. Have you also been here a few times before, right? And then we got Leafview Martis. Very nice to see you. And then I thought, if Shahid, he agrees with that, I think it's about time. Immigrant son, nice to see you. But I think it's time that we invite our beautiful queen to be a moderator. Now, it might seem currently that we have more moderators than we have viewers or participants in the chat. But I believe, as we're going to see Bitcoin touch its previous all-time high, that's actually when we're going to see all those newbies coming in. But you know what? They're going to be just a tiny, small little bit too late to the party, because only we who have been around since, we were down hitting 15,000 in Bitcoin, we are really going to profit. And I hope you all have, done your financial advice and gotten in early. Just remember, before we go on, this is not financial advice. You have to do your own research, because in the end of the day, I don't know shit about crypto. And that is very, very important. I know at this time we need to go in and we need to look at the Bitcoin, but just look at this net swap. I just saw today net swap is up 76% on the day. If we go in here and we look here over 7 days, 1,083%. Now if we go in here and let's look at 1 year, this is the hockey stick we've been talking about. This is the hockey stick that we all love and that we all and for those of you who are not sure, the good times are coming. The past year, all we have been doing is that we've been talking about, you got to average in, you got to get in, just wait, it's going to come, it's going to go up again, right? It's been, it became a little bit hard for me to keep saying that, talk about the same things. But now we got hockey sticks, one hockey stick there, one hockey stick there. Anyway, for those of you who are new to the channel, in case you're not sure, well, NetSwap, we actually recommended that, and I'm going to use a lot of these slides here. Look at this. We recommended NetSwap on the 5th of August, 2023. We bought at 7 minicent on the dollar, down 99%, and at 7 minicent. And it is currently, this is not even a joke, right? This is unbelievable. We are currently at $1.44. Anyway, so that's NetSwap. Well, let's go in and have a quick look at where we are seeing the market today. So we're seeing Bitcoin up 2.4% at 43,000. It's been a while since you and I, Bitcoin has been really going up. We got Solana at 108, down 2.4% today. We got Ethereum up 6% today. That's good to see. And then, I don't know, we got Bitcoin down here. Actually, it's all about the dots, but we will talk more about, first, we'll get to the dots. I just need here a quick sip. So, we can talk a lot about technical analysis, right? When we look at Bitcoin. But my technical analysis is as long as we are above the 7-day moving average, we're on the safe side. Now, I'm still very sad, very, very sad about the volume, but nevertheless, we really came from 15,000 and, we're up at 43,000. It is, however, funny because when we look, if we try here and look at this chart on the weekly. Now, remember, we were looking at, we've also been talking about the Wyckoff, but then maybe what is a little bit more fun is when we look at the psychology of, let's say, unexperienced investors. We're going to look at this slide here, and we also look at BTC on the weekly, and this is back from the previous high, back in 2018, when we had the high of around 20,000. Now remember, if I'm just going to switch between these two screens, you would see that it looks pretty similar. I mean, I know here it's a little bit wider, and on the other, on the PowerPoint presentation, it's a little bit more pushed together. But it is where I believe, when we go back here in time and we look at this PowerPoint, although I'm not going to go through that, first we, anxiety and denial and panic and capitulation, and people get angry when we got down to around the 3,500 per Bitcoin after we had seen almost 20,000 in December 2017. But as you can see, is this a sucker's rally? So we can see back there in 2019, as we were hitting, we were about, half, not around, a little bit, slightly above half of the 20,000. People still didn't believe that this is going to take off. And I think it's very similar to where we are currently, right? So if we look here, and we can see this was the high that we had around 68,000. Now we had 43. I don't like so much, to look at the past and say it's going to be identical day by day, but there's it goes very similar. And we might go back a little, have a few days where we will retrieve. That can happen. And you also know we will come on and make these live streams once we see market capitulation or market manipulations, only buying opportunities. But the difference is what we have had in 2023 and 2022 and 2021 is that we have had so much confirmation that the future of finance is being built right in front of our eyes and is being built on the blockchain. So let's move on. That was that about Bitcoin, because we've got a few things to look at. Polkadot trading at $8.70. Now, of course, when we look here, we scroll out. This is the daily. We go all the way back here to 2021. We are still far, far away from the previous all-time high. And I do believe that the future high of Polkadot, which would be, let's say the end of the third cycle that we kind of started, should be about October 2025. Still, if we should, if previous history is an indication. And I think we could see one dot at around $150. Now remember, it's not financial advice. You all have to do your own research. But just think about it. If we're going to see the price going to around 150, from $8 up, there is a lot of potential. Scroll out here, where then we can see not a true hockey stick, but we can see things are moving. And thank God. For how many months were we scrolling around from, between 3 and 4? It seemed like it was forever. Almost the entire year of 2023, we started around here at $4, and then we went up, briefly there in February to 7, but then most of it just went down. I always remember that being around $4 or $5 in the previous, 6, 7, 8 months, pretty much. Anyway, it's moving, starting to move. Another beautiful dot, of course, is Moonbeam. We will talk about it, and we'll go in and share also our Polkadot portfolio. But look at this here when we look on the daily. Moonbeam was already almost up at 60 cents, and coming here from its low at around 16. Now, what did we say with Moonbeam? When did we basically announce that Moonbeam is, at least from our point of view, a good thing to hold? I think we did this here. Let me just share here with you. Let me see here, Moonbeam. I gotta be a little quicker than this, huh? But I think we can see that we got in Moonbeam around 20 cents on the dollar. And we've been talking a lot about the dot. So let's not spend time here. And let me go over here. So let's have a look at the, no, probably don't have time to the overall market, even though I will, in the end, I will talk a little bit more than other things than Polkadot, but let's get the Polkadot, let's get the dots, not over and done, but let's get at least stay what we're supposed to do. We have made here also a portfolio that we call Polkadot 2024. And in here, we share with you the dots, you know, so we can follow it together. Now, remember, for those of you, again, who are new, I mean, I always announce when we buy and I also announce when we sell. Now, in the past year, we've only been doing a lot of buying, not a lot of selling. But it is nice to see now because, as I said before, in the past year, it was not so nice to do cryptocurrency portfolio update. Yeah, only to buy. But look at this. Kusama already, when we got in here at $24, up 120%, right? Moon River, 412%. I mean, if you've been following this, you would be happy as Larry or as Betty, right? Polkadot up 100% since we got in there announced. One of the most beautiful dots, Energy Web Token, that's the only one we're down with. Still down 20%, which I, you know, for myself, see as, you know, you better pick a few Energy Web Tokens up. Litentry, 9%, also beautiful dot. However, I also want to say with Litentry would not be my primary dot. I mean, Litentry is more like, you know, it's not your wife, right? It's more like a girlfriend, like the, you know, third girlfriend. Very easy exchangeable. Anyway, cross network, I love it. Why am I saying that about Litentry? Because it's digital identity, and I think it's not really clear who's going to be the ultimate. I mean, with the digital identity, it is absolutely not. I find it very difficult currently to identify which protocols are really going to take off and become the market leaders within the digital identity, let's say, ecosystem. Cross network, love them. This decentralized storage. Many people don't speak a lot about it. But since we entered there, that's also a long time ago, however, up 177%. I love it. Kilt, as I said, Kilt could be, from my point of view, become one of the main digital identity protocols. Only up 3% since we got in there, so still very close. Centrifuge, real world assets. Remember, I mean, this is the future. Real world assets, and I think real world assets is also going to become basically one of the main drivers that's really gonna get attract new investors. Origin Trail, 70%, also already working with lots of solid businesses from traditional finance, right? And Moonbeam up, you know what that is, 124%. Cheatin, 98 is the cousin of Astar, and so similar gains there with Cheatin and Astar, around 100%. And then Altair, which is the cousin of Centrifuge, up 176%. Let me just, when we compare that, and 180% with Centrifuge. I like, it's good to see that both the protocols on Kusama equals the performance of what we're seeing in Polkadot. I wasn't, you know, that's why we chose to go into both. And I had, at times, I'm kind of more optimistic on the Kusama protocols. They may perhaps can generate more return, simply because the market caps usually are much smaller. Cedar Network, 72%. Cross Chatter, remember, that is the cousin of Cross Network. So this is decentralized storage on Kusama. And you see here with Cross Chatter, we are up 136%. And let's see here with Cross Network, yeah, 177. Sometimes you can also use the inefficiencies, right? If you have made massive returns on the Polkadot chain, but on Kusama, it hasn't moved yet, probably you're going to see that they will mirror each other. Kylan, we're not so sure what's happening to Kylan, if that's really going to be the oracle of the future, but still up slightly. And then, I mean, lots of love to Nodl or Noodle or not. I don't really know. I mean, not only that it's up 55% since we announced we were going to get in and we bought, but I think there's a lot of potential. A lot of potential. Anyway, this is our Polkadot portfolio. And yeah, if there's any questions, let me know. I will take them in the end. And then let us go in and go and look at the news that Betty prepared for us. Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas. Well, first of all, so this is basically, these are the highlights from Gavin Wood's year-end summary. And I mean, it's a long summary, so we tried to just take the few points that, to make it quicker, and the important points. So what are we seeing here? The Polkadot ecosystem is continuing to growing, and that's a good thing, because the ecosystem itself is growing much more than perhaps you would have liked to see it in terms of price increase. But across the Polkadot and Kusama, there are 90 parachains from over 580 ecosystem projects, 300 of which are decentralized applications and 190 are substrate-based blockchains. Polkadot runs with 50 of its parachain cores are enabled now, with 17,000 XCM messages being shuttled trustlessly and securely between them each month. In case you don't know what XCM is, well, that's basically the messaging standard or system or technology that makes it possible to communicate between different ecosystems, between different blockchains. On December the 22nd, a few days ago, the relay chain alone handled more than 6.9 million transactions in 24 hours, a sustained rate of 80 per second over the day. I mean, this is very impressive, right? There are almost 2,000 monthly active developers and 83,000 monthly active users across the Polkadot ecosystem. What is really good is that they have seen over 10 times growth of the small hodler-friendly nomination pools through the year to over 180 pools covering 10 million DOT staked. So that's also a good thing. And here, it was always nice to see some visuals. Here we can see the top blockchains by revenue rate in 7 days. I mean, it's very impressive to see Polkadot at number 1. Very impressive. Going number 2, Avalanche, I mean, it's also good. And then we see we got Definity, number 3, also good. And then we got Stellar, Solana, and then we got Kusama down there at number 8 or something. And then we got BNB chain and other chains. But it's nice to see Polkadot is the most profitable DOT at the moment. The performance of Polkadot in the last 7 days and 30 days. So we can see the market cap in the past 7 days gone up 18% and over 30 days 63, not bad. And revenue, as we can see, 140% 7 days, 462 in the last 30 days. Expenses have not increased, as much as the other figures, and that's very nice. And active users daily have also gone up. I mean, that goes without saying, right? When we're seeing the price increase, still are not really using the blockchain for anything substantial in our day-to-day lives, right? Basically, for most of us, cryptocurrencies or blockchain is just, an opportunity to get rich, and that's beautiful. But once we're really going to use or see the utility of blockchain technology within everyday lives, guys, I mean, I already got to congratulate you. I mean, you should congratulate yourself because you are truly number 1, without a doubt. Top parachains by valuation, growth on Kusama and Polkadot. Now, this is good because now we're getting in a little bit more just looking at within the ecosystem. So if we start with Kusama, we can see here by valuation growth, it is Moon River with 451%, and then number 2, Sora, 3, Picasso, Gen Shiro, and then Karura, Bifrost, all there, Integrity, Kusama, and BitCountry, and I can't read the last one. And on Polkadot, we got Moonbeam, Akala, Bifrost, Pokedex, Aventus, Astar, Centrifuge, and yeah, then it goes on. I mean, there are, of course, many more dots that we are holding. And I also want to say that, of course, we will add new dots, and it won't take long. I'm just so happy to see that, in 2023, we've been more, let's say, buying the old dusty coins and not so many of the shiny new dots, but obviously we will. And I also think that it's, let's say that the natural progression is that investors, when they enter this space, they will ultimately look for the, let's say, the blue chips, and I think they will start rising. And this is also, this would be advice. What I, would do is that first kind of get in on the blue chips, make sure that they go up, take some of that profit and might channel that down to some of the, let's say, lower market cap dots, where the risk reward potential then again will be much more interesting. I mean, guys, we're only starting. I mean, we are really going to take off once we're going to hit Bitcoin previous all-time high. So we still got time, but we can see the train has already left the low. What do we have here? The average core developers, 123, a number of holders, 1.2 million. So at least there's 1.2, I don't know if it's individuals, it's wallets, obviously. And then we can see here, daily code commits, but we can see that it's going down because it was Christmas, right? Who wants to code when they can stay home with the family and eat turkey? Daily active users, we can see has still actually gone up, even though we're going towards, the transactions went up, obviously because also the price went up. Let's see here. Top blockchains by code commits, growth in 7 days. Number 1, Polygon, but on a second place, Polkadot. And on a third place, Kusama. I mean, they're just, this is where we can see that the ecosystem is growing, and that is promising. More promising is that we're seeing code being committed than the price increasing, right? But obviously that will go hand in hand. Ranking blockchains by Nakamoto coefficients score in 24 hours. Now that's something new that we have, actually it was also new to me. This was something that obviously Robinhood, Gavin Wood, he was talking about here in his year end. And so on proof of stake networks, the Nakamoto coefficient quantifies the minimum entities needed to control 1/3 of the stake. The higher the Nakamoto coefficient on a network, the more decentralized a blockchain. This means the more resilient the network will be. And we can see, okay, the number 1 is the Mina protocol, but on a second place, Polkadot. I mean, this is very, very impressive. And then we've got Thorchain on a third place, but only with a score of 33. And then we have to see that, some of these other chains there, they really have to do something in order to, because basically what this means, or what this Nakamoto coefficient number is, that everyone is scared that somebody could come in and take over the blockchain and could then decide in which direction, basically decide for everyone. And that's why it's important that it's decentralized. What do we got? The top parachains by average DAO in the last 7 days. And what is DAU? Well, average daily active users. And this is also quite interesting, because here we can see that on a first place, we have a star. That's also why a star is just one of the, the top dots. But look at that. Noodle on a second place. Right? With 819 average daily active users. And then we can see then on a third place, we got Akala, which I absolutely hate. Akala is on our shit list, just in case you forgot about that. And then we got Parallel and Centrifuge and Moonbeam. But we should point out here that when let's go in and have a look at Noddle's current market cap. There we go. Noddle has a market cap currently of, second guys, it always takes a little bit here. There we go. Boom. Noddle has a market cap of 25 million. Can you see it? I mean, somehow my mouse is not popping up here. We will fix that tomorrow. But yeah, there you can see 25 million market cap. How much market cap does, let's say, a star have? I know you can do this yourself. It's just sometimes that you also, I like to take you through the process of also how I sometimes compare. So a star has a market cap of 686 million. That's a lot of market cap compared to Noddle with 28. But when you then go in and we compare and we see that Nodl has, also this amount of daily active users. I think there's a lot of potential. I really think this is the shiny dot that you should not underestimate. Anyway, but you can see all these dots are good, right? And these are the top dots. And we are maybe a little bit sad that we haven't, exposed ourselves to Hydra DEX or Hydra DEX. I'm sure that also has a lot of potential. So please. The next one here, notable DEXs to use in the Polkadot ecosystem. Now, I have to say, this is, we took this slide from Polkadot Insider, so I have not tested it myself, all of them, but they're saying that Polkadex, ArtSwap is obviously from what did I forget? From a star network, of course, yeah. Then there's BeamSwap, and which is always a Moonbeam, and then a Solar Flare. Then we got HydroDex, Stellar Swap. We're gonna try a little bit more on Stellar Swap, and then there's a Star Exchange and Zenlink. It's also, I think this is a good slide because remember what I have also tried here in the past year. We agreed on that probably this cycle is not going to be the cycle of the layer 1 blockchain itself, meaning that I don't think that Ethereum or Polkadot or for that matter Cardano or Solana is going to make those 1,000, 10,000 X, right? Because they already have this huge amount of market cap. So that's why that if we find an ecosystem, a protocol that we like, well then obviously we should look at the infrastructure or the needed protocols that will make it a success, right? We all know that every ecosystem is gonna need a DEX, a decentralized exchange. Many other things, right? So these DEXs have huge potential, and I think that NetSwap today very much proved this point that I'm trying to make here, right? If we look at NetSwap, that is today up over a week 882%. 7 days 986, and just today 60%. And remember, we got in at 0.07, and we've been doing a lot of NetSwap in the past, so nobody can come and say that you were not aware of NetSwap. What is the current market cap of NetSwap? 8 million. If that's true, 8 million. Hallelujah. A lot of potential. Who was it last time who said that I only produce old dusty coins? This is a shiny coin. Anyway, yeah, let's go. So yeah, let's see if okay, let me just see if there's any questions here before we go on with the news. I can see that Joe is what with parallel. What's with parallel? You have to. I'm not entirely sure what you mean, but in a way I think I am, because if you're asking my own opinion, Parallel has some good things, right? It's a decentralized exchange, but I don't see that Parallel, I don't know. Somehow Parallel, it's more of a gut feeling. It's more, I just don't love it. I just don't love Parallel. So we are holding a small position. That's because we participated in the auction. So let me see here. You want to talk about, okay, yes, this, I understand where we got Marcos. He wants to talk about pendulum. I know too little about it. And what is it? You have to, can you write it out for me? Because when I go in here, then write me the whole I think you did there before. I know too little about it. And I also have to get, so I can't tell you anything. What do you think? I don't know. Unfortunately, I will look into it. So before I'm gonna start, saying anything, it's better that I say nothing. And let me look into it. And if you think it's good, do you think it's good? Let me know. Not MetaMask and a DEX to connect it for all those ecosystem tokens. Okay, James. Now James is asking a question that you should know, James. I mean, how do we connect with Polkadot? Well, I actually do it with our Polkadot Explorer wallet. I will actually look up for that. And if you want, I'll make a short video. However, it will take a week how to connect that. I mean, that's like a long time ago that I did that, but I used the Polkadot JS Explorer. Let me just try to see if I can go in and find it for you. No, this would take too long here for the stream, but yeah, I use my Polkadot extension, and then you can do different things. You can connect it, some of them with there are many different Polkadot wallets, and some of them many good ones. So actually, that's a good idea for a video. What are the top Polkadot wallets? Let me see what else here do we got. Cryptogog, how are you doing, my good friend? Dot should hit 100 this bull run. I think so. So that's I hate how whales manipulate the price. Well, you don't even need to be a whale to move the price. But of course we hate it. But it's a very inefficient market, and it's because there's so little liquidity. Even though that we have hit 1.7 trillion market cap, but it's still a very, very small size compared to looking at the traditional financial markets. Okay, so we will make a video about the wallets. It's a good thing. I think Betty's taking notes, and I will look into to Pendulum. I have read about it, but I don't know. Let's go in here and look at the news. There's only 3 pieces of news, but one of them is ClickApp launches on Nodl as the first digital trust network to combat fake news. Now, I mean, you and I, we know that most of the news that are being categorized as fake news are actually the real news. But nevertheless, I love this thing that Nodl has announced. So Click is the world's first digital trust network, enabling creators and consumers everywhere to easily create authentic content and publish truthful photos and videos via an immutable digital proof of authenticity. Authentic content can be shared with the world via a public blockchain that includes verifiable metadata. That is actually worth a lot. Click is made possible by ContentSign, Nodl's proprietary technology, which proves the integrity of data from its moment of capture via the blockchain. Now, why I love this so much, this is one thing that, it was actually, I mean, somebody else came up with that idea, but there was like 2 years ago, I thought if I should ever come up and create a protocol, that would be it. Because imagine that you are running around in Ukraine, and you can boom, take a picture of what's really going on, and you can upload it, and nobody can challenge its truth if this was really what you captured. The same what's going on in Gaza, basically the same that's going on in everywhere in the world. If they're going to allow this protocol that everybody can, and it's not going to be labeled misinformation and fake news, somehow the elite or the current governments, they will find probably a way not to let this go its own way. But this would be something beautiful. It's happening on Nodl. I mean, Nodl got a lot of potential, I really have to say. So this is talking about Energy Web. They also came out with some news, and actually Gavin Wood he was also talking about Energy Web token. And before we read this little piece of news, let's just see what he said. So this is from Gavin Wood 3 days ago. Energy Web announced their intention to transition from their current EVM, Ethereum-based chain to Polkadot technology. And for those that do not know, Energy Web is the world's largest ecosystem of companies using open source decentralized technologies and home to the blockchain projects of many major enterprises in the energy sector. Which is why that when we looked at my portfolio, or Betty's portfolio here a few minutes ago, and we saw that the only coin that is still in red territory, that is minus, is Energy Web token. I think it's only a matter of time until Energy Web token is going to take off. I really do. Let's go in here and have a quick look. If we look at all, we can see it had an all-time high. I mean, I think it's going to go way higher than its previous all-time high, which was around 20, currently around 2. I think it's only a matter of time until we're going to see a nice hockey stick when it comes to Energy Web. Now, the news that we have here in the presentation, I mean, that's a little bit boring, but all this going green news is not always so interesting. Anyway, a new independent, not-for-profit, no, and it's never for profit when it's about the big companies. Sustainable Aviation Fuel Certificate Registry were launched at the COP28 Conference of the Parties, supporting major consumers of air travel and transport in their efforts to help directly decarbonize flight with an enterprise-grade digital tool. I mean, it's good it's on the Energy Web chain. The registry was created by Clean Energy Nonprofit RMI and the Environmental Defense Fund in collaboration with the Sustainable Aviation Buyers Alliance and digital solutions developer Energy Web. Now, I really think, I don't think we can go wrong with Energy Web. Then, the last piece of news for today is Centrifuge, real-world assets. Remember, the future, I really believe that what's really going to catapult the third cycle, as I like to call this cycle, is tokenizing real-world assets. And Centrifuge is the dot. So Centrifuge's end-of-the-year announcements included announcing mainnet on multiple chains. Centrifuge real-world assets can now be accessed natively on Arbitrum, Base, Celo, and Ethereum. And the new app features includes a revamped portfolio page that provides a comprehensive overview of users' real-world assets investment. So you can actually go to Centrifuge and then you can choose a portfolio where you are earning interest on real-world assets that has been tokenized already. And you can then see a portfolio value graph, very good, detailed transaction history, and asset class allocation chart. I mean, things that we take for granted, right? But they still have to program it and make sure that it's on the blockchain. A transition to USDC. So Centrifuge is migrating to USDC as its primary currency to power pools on Centrifuge. Centrifuge chose USDC due to its programmability, interoperability, ease of use, excellent reputation, and focus on regulatory compliance. Now, I also want to say something. Now, I've not been following Akala and Karura, but remember, in the beginning, one thing that we initially thought that made Akala and Karura so attractive was because they were supposedly going to provide the stable coin of the Polkadot and the Kusama ecosystem. And as we, discovered that was never going to happen. That's why I, chose to put Akala and Karura on the shit list, because they didn't share that. And because the AUST and the KUST just, depict, and we lost a lot of money. And here we can see that even some of these beautiful dots are choosing not to do too much hanky-panky with Akala and Karura. So that's about that. Then there's another here, the Defiant. They also came out and found this article. Polkadot's Web3 Foundation. The Web3 Foundation is obviously kind of like the mother behind Polkadot. Investing $1 million in on-chain treasuries. So the Web3 Foundation plans to up its real-world asset allocation in the future. And they're obviously doing that through Centrifuge. So that means that Centrifuge is not only the preferred partner of BlackRock, but also of Polkadot. The last thing I want to end here regarding the news is that probably in 2024, we're not going to see the current auction model that we're seeing now in Polkadot. And I'm happy about that, because this parachain auction model, at least when we kind of went through it, was not very profitable, right? We locked in our dots at around $40 or $50, basically at the highest price. And then we got some other dots, it wasn't so successful. Anyway, pretty sure they're going to change it so that the new way that new developers can, profit or benefit or add to the Polkadot and the Kusama ecosystem will be on a smaller time share basis. So basically the way that it was now, like you had to come out with a white paper, and then you had to, collect dots from investors like you and me, even though they would not get the dots, but we had to commit them for 2 years. And then this new project, they would then, if they would win, they would then get a parachain slot for 2 years, and then they could go on developing and do their thing. But 2 years is a long time for new startups. So the way that the new future of Polkadot is going to look like is, I like to try to make it simple, understandable. So if we look at this cube here of offices, imagine that each little office there, each window is kind of like a parachain. So before, in order to get an office there, you would have to commit 2 years. First, write the white paper, then get investors to put in dots. And then nobody wanted to put any dots in, so you could fund it yourself, but you still had, 2 years time. And here with the new model is that you can basically, it's like a hotel office or whatever you say. You can go in and you can rent your office, even if it's just for a few hours or for a month or for forever. But of course, you can benefit from the infrastructure of the Polkadot blockchain. So in a hotel office, right, what is that you benefit from there? Well, you all got a mutual reception, you got electricity, you got phone lines, you got a security guard. I mean, all these things that are included that makes a hotel office, profitable and good. So this is a little bit, just want to point out the concept. And you can see here, scalable. Polkadot is scalable. Many, they can always create new offices. Guys, that's about that. I felt that was a long one here we did. So if anybody's still here, let's have a quick chat. And that's about that. Whew. Oh, yeah. Hallelujah. I can see even the last man here didn't make it for an hour. Anyway, I want to say Happy New Year. And I truly hope that in 2024, I can do more streams and more videos. I just looked at my calendar here in the past 5 months, and I've been flying more than, I've been on more than 60 flights. And this was not the plan when I started this YouTube. So have patience, and thank you for being here. I love you, and I will see all of you next year in 2024. And this is when things are going to be serious. Stay strong, stay home, don't think it can cause depression, and I will see you very soon. And thank yourself for the fact that you never quit.
When you feel like quitting, remember all of those who said you'd fail. When you feel like giving up, remember why you started. When you feel like quitting, remember what you're doing it all for. When you feel like quitting, remember pain is temporary and greatness lasts forever.
When you feel like quitting, remember that the pain you feel today will be replaced with the strength you need tomorrow. Remember that every ounce of pain you feel is building a stronger you, a stronger body, a stronger mind, and a stronger character. So push through the pain. Don't let it stop you. Force it to grow you.
Don't back down from the pain. Face it. Feel no pain. There is no pain. That painful last rip, that's nothing. Give me more. Push harder.
Too tired, too hard, too busy, too early, too
Okay, I usually don't do that, but I was happy to see there was a question. I guess I went out too quickly, and I hope that Bull Bear, he will see this here, because you actually had 2 questions, and if not, then I will remind you in our Telegram. This is let me see here. What is your advice? Who's joining now? Should they start buying now, or should they wait for BTC pullback? You see, there's one thing, and if you're new to this, then you wouldn't have watched my streams, but timing the market is the most difficult thing. Now, there's one thing that I completely advise you against, and that is leverage. Don't borrow money from anyone, and don't try to, outsmart the market. If you're a new investor what I say to new investors, basically, and it doesn't matter when it is, if the market is at its high or it's low, because I can also not predict the future. You gotta average in, dollar cost averaging. Now, if you have a monthly salary and you can take something out, then really do that. And even if, let's say, you have a portion of money, it doesn't matter if it's $1,000 or $1 million, and you're new to this, I would certainly not put everything in now. Yeah, I would do it in waves. So, and then it always depends on your risk profile. I mean, about how to diversify and how to build a portfolio. I mean, that there's a whole life science to that. And also, I was Bulbert, you were talking about, you recommended that we should do some, what did you say here, introduce super chat function. Yeah, we might do that. We like to say, thanks regards by taking part in super chat. Yeah, super chat. I actually, that would be nice, but we kind of do this not to make money. That's also why we don't promote anything. I mean, just the fact that I can help and that it benefits you, this is really, that's the currency that I am looking for. Obviously, should we grow so much that we don't have time to chit-chat together, then of course we have to find out some ways. Anyway, that's it. I love you all, and Happy New Year. Happy New Year. What can we say?